Welcome back, and we are at part number 4. We're getting at numbers 20 to 11. And like I said at the end of the last part, this is going to be where it's going to get tough and controversial. Number 20, we have Black Crown Initiate with Selves We Cannot Forgive. Progressive death metal at its heaviest right here with this band. This is only their second album, and they are showing that they are a force to be reckoned with. Their first album, Wreckage of Stars, was excellent a couple years ago. This album just continues to evolve their prog death metal sound. Pretty much these guys are like the death metal version of Mastodon, and that's a huge compliment considering I love Mastodon, and I'm starting to love this band. Number 19, we have Devin Townsend's Transcendence. A recent album I checked out, and it was absolutely amazing. Devin Townsend can really do no wrong with his music. And I remembered I reviewed his Z2 albums a couple years ago, and people loved it. And also loved the album. People love this album too, and it's understandable. It is absolutely incredible with those symphonic elements behind the prog stuff, and that song Higher still gives me chills when I listen to it. Number 18, we have Obscura's Acroasis. The prog tech death metalers from Germany are back at it again with another complex album. Their last album, Omnivium, was considered by many arguably to be the album of the year for metal in 2011. While this album kind of slipped a little bit, it's still a phenomenon, including a 15 to 16 minute long track, and they showed a lot of Morbid Angel worship, and I mean the good Morbid Angel, not the shitty newer Morbid Angel from 2011. You know what I mean. Number 17, we have Rotting Christ with Rituals. Damn, was this album dark. And some people would have considered this to be higher, but still, just what a fucking amazing year this was for music. And just this album was proof that Rotting Christ were no longer a black metal band that a lot of people labeled them as. This was more of a avant-garde, mellow death, doom metal type of vibe. And it was almost like as if this was the modern day version of Celtic Frost Monotheist to some extent. Definitely give this album a listen. Rotting Christ deserves some respect. Number 16, we have Amon Amarth's Yams Viking, the Viking mellow death metal band. Gosh, I screwed up there, but hey, like I said, fuck outtakes or editing. Amon Amarth just continues to just amaze me, even though their previous album, Deceiver of the Gods, did kind of cause some mix-ups with people. I think this album made a lot of people happy. Concept album, and wow, and of course that song Raise Your Horns, that sounds like it was from the 1980s, sounds like you're listening to a song by Old Accept or Judas Priest. And Doro Pesch doing guest vocals on a song was pretty cool. Definitely listen to this one. Number 15, we have Gojira's Magma. Gojira decided to take a different turn with their sound as opposed to doing the long songs of their progressive metal, progressive extreme metal sound. They decided to kind of shorten things up a little bit because of how they felt with people having ADHD or any kind of attention deficit disorder or what have you, and there are some people out there that can't handle long songs or long albums. For me, I can handle it from time to time. And this album it's a short one, but it's a big one to examine. Great stuff. Gojira just continued to try and evolve, and they are evolving in a big way. This was a great album. Number 14, we have Insomnium's Winter's Gate. And I'm smiling because this was the modern day Crimson for me. If you don't know what I mean, the Crimson albums by Edge of Sanity. The one song album format was done in a brilliant way by Insomnium. And again, this could have been higher, but man, this year's just been awesome, and there's just been a lot of competition. What can I say? Number 13, we have Haken with Affinity. My first experience with Haken, and this is a newer British prog metal group, and wow, this band knows how to put on good modern prog music. combining within one song having some death metal growls going on, and at times those gent guitar sounds, and they use it sparingly. This band knows how to do the whole gent thing right by using that tone sparingly as opposed to using it throughout the entire damn song. But anyways, really good album, highly recommended. Number 12, we have Exhumer with The Raging Tides, another thrash album. This was really the year for prog and thrash metal. Absolutely. And this was an example of some great thrash metal in today's day and age. An old school band from the 80s in Germany. And they make an album that sounds like it should have been made back in 1986. This is... excuse me. This is a kind of album that Slayer need to make if they're going to make another one. So anyways, and then we close out part 4 with something different, an EP. Even though, honestly, it should be considered a full album because it's the one-song idea at 32, 33 minutes. It was phenomenal. It had to be on this list. At number 11, Pallades Dust by Gorguts. Gorguts, tech death, avant-garde masters, prog, chaos, ambience, Luke LeMay's a beast. That's all I can say. Definitely listen to that one. We are through part 4, and now part 5 is coming up, and this is where it's going to get controversial, but interesting. The top 10 is coming up next.